So hi guys, welcome to another episode. In this episode, I'll be teaching you guys about video editing. And honestly, video editing can feel very overwhelming, especially at the beginning. And you're trying to figure out which particular software to use. So you're talking about DaVinci, Adobe, Final Cut. Which one should you use? And I've been there, trust me. But what I'm going to be doing in this episode is basically taking you through the 5 basic steps that you need to learn. And once you've had these steps down, editing on any software will be very easy. So let's get into it. So the 5 steps I'm going to be teaching you guys today would be: number 1 is how to organize your files. That's very important. Number 2 will be picking the right software depending on what project you're about to work on, and basically how to edit on whatever platform you do decide to use. And next will be how to trim the fat, so how to take off fluffs, the mistakes and everything. And 4th steps is we're going to be learning about how to add b-rolls and music. And the 5th thing is how to polish and export your file. So first things first, let's look at how to organize your file. Listen, I've edited documentaries that are with over 5 hours of footage. And trust me, if you don't organize your file neatly, where in order for you to find a particular file, it's easy for you to access it, it causes a lot of stress for you down the line. So first thing you want to do is organize your file. So let's look into how we can do that. So now if we take a look at this, now this folder is, I titled it how to edit, right? So you can name it whatever your file is going to be. So the first thing is your A roll. Here in your A roll, what you have is your actual footage. So that is if you do the podcast, if you're editing a podcast, that's the main interview. That's what you put there. You know, if it's a documentary, it's going to be the interview that you did. That's going to be your A roll. Now, the next folder you want to create is your B-roll. So B-rolls are accompanying footage. So basically it tells you more about the A-roll. So if, for example, you have an interview where someone's talking about the beach, instead of just having a talking head, just me talking about the beach, I'll just insert a video in this video, and that basically explains what I'm talking about, and it makes the viewer watching more interested in what you're talking about. Next is graphics. If you do have some graphics, you want to create a folder where you put that in. Obviously, in this case, we don't do without it for now. Next is your music. You want to add music to your editing. You want to make sure the music doesn't take over from what you're talking about or the interview or whatever it is you're creating. It depends on what scenario though. Keep that in mind. But if it's supposed to be on delay the whole entire video, so it's just to be subtle, it's supposed to be subtle, that's what you want. Next is final, and this is where you export your file into, so that's the folder you create. So now today's software that we're going to be looking at is DaVinci Resolve. And like I said, it doesn't matter what software you use, as long as you have the basics down, it really doesn't matter. So let's look at DaVinci Resolve. So DaVinci Resolve is just like any editing software. It really doesn't matter, like I said, as long as it's basic. You're going to be cutting, you're going to be copying, pasting, you're going to be exporting. It's roughly all softwares do the same thing. So I personally like to use DaVinci Resolve because it's more robust. It has almost every single thing that you need on this particular software. So once you open up the software, you create a new project. Let's title this how to edit. Create this. Perfect. Like I said, and it's free. So it's a free software. So the first thing you want to do is import your files. So if you go to this other icon here, that's basically your timeline. This is where your timeline is, and this is where you have where you can do all your editing. So what I do is I just right click on this and I import my media. So we go to our folder that we created and told you this makes it much easier if you've already organized your file. So I just go to my A roll, I import my file, and this is the change frame rates. Let's look at how to trim out fat. So to zoom in is just Command plus, and that's how you zoom into your timeline to expand your timeline, your files. And if there's any parts you want to cut out, so take for example, we want to cut out from 005 to 06. You can scrub through by putting your cursor on this red dot here to go to where exactly you want to go. This where you want to go. So let's go to perfect 06. Now we use the blade icon. Zoom into our timeline. You should see here is this. So remember to change back to the select button. So this is select mode is by clicking on this cursor. Now you can click on the part that we've chopped up. So now this part here is, let's say it's a mistake and we want to cut that out. So if you see by using the blade icon from where it starts to where it ends, it's isolated that particular file. So what you want to do now is click on it, and then you want to use the delete button to delete or disable it, or we can just simply delete selected. So that's how you take that out. And now what you want to do is, because there's a gap on here, you just simply drag this file back so it continues. No matter what you're doing, you're always going to use this basic, and every single software you use is going to follow this same process, using the B button to cut, and then or using the blade button to cut, and then using select and delete the part that you don't want. And you can edit the arms, the like, if you say like a lot, if you say arms a lot, things like that. That's what you want to take out from your editing. Then the next thing you want to do too as well is you want to smooth that process, that transition. So meaning that if you've taken a chunk part out of a conversation, the next time you play it, it doesn't flow as well, because you can tell that, oh, something has been cut from there. So what you want to do is you want to add a video transition to smoothen that transition from one video to the next clip. So what you will do is you go a video transition, and I like to use smooth cut. Smooth cut is just, you just drag it and drop it over here. What it does is just makes it flow better. So it goes from one video to the next. And obviously you can shorten this as much as you want. So the next thing you want to do is, let's see how we can add B-roll. So we're going to import our video. So import our B-roll. Perfect. So go to our B-roll, and this is a video of the beach. So all we'll do is just drag and drop. So let's assume we want to put this over here. So what we want is, if for example here he's talking about going to the beach and we need to insert a video of the beach, we can just place that over our A roll, and that for a short period of time, what he's talking about, then it goes back into the video of the interview, the video talking. So that's basically how you add B-rolls. And obviously you can adjust the length, we can trim it. So in DaVinci Resolve, how you trim is by zooming right here. So you go into the edge of it and you can drag it for the duration you want. So let's look at this one more time. Perfect. Flows well. And then the B-roll flows out after he's done talking about it, and it's back into the interviewer talking. So that's basically how you add B-roll to video. The next thing you want to do is, for example, we want to add music. So let's import our file. So we'll go to how to edit, and then we'll go to music. Then this is the one we want. You drag and drop it. Same. So this file over here, so we can see our timeline properly. So you take the music and you put it right underneath the part that you want. If you want it to go all over or wherever, that's up to you. You can obviously control it by this, the length of it. This is what I was talking about. You don't, if you're putting the music under an interview, you don't want it to overpower it. What you want for this is to just accentuate the whole video a little bit better. So you can reduce the volume of this. So there's a couple of ways you can do this in DaVinci. So let's zoom in here. You can go to the volume section here and reduce the volume of it till it's perfect. Like you see how it's overpowering here. What we want is, we don't want that. So we want the interview to be much louder. So we click on the interview and we increase that. Then click on the music that we just dragged and drop and reduce the volume here. So let's go to maybe 10. Okay. Now let's play this. Good. Yeah, we'll just bring it down a little bit more. Perfect. So this is how you add music to your files. So basically, this is all the basics you would need to learn how to basically edit, because you're going to be doing this repetitive task continuously. It depends on what software you use. It's still going to be different. Where the position of where each item is, for example, the blade in Adobe wouldn't be necessarily here, it will be somewhere else. So those are the things you just have to find out. But in terms of editing, this is fundamentally the basics, and this is all you need to keep practicing to get better at it. And all you need to do once this is done is go to File, and then you can do a quick export of your file in whatever format you decide to choose, and you export it. It's How to Edit is the name of this video that we just did, and then you export it to whichever folder that you've created, you know, and that's about it. So like I said, this is the basic you need to learn. Practice this, and this would basically help you edit like a pro in matters of time. I hope this video was very helpful to you. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to reach out at fahadsuleiman.com, and thank you very much for watching. Just finished the first segment of this video where we talked about video editing and how you could actually edit your videos. So the next part of this is where we're going to be talking about the frequently asked questions when it comes to video editing. So we're going to be looking at 10 questions here, and I'm going to be providing the answers to those 10 questions. So the first question here is how to smooth shaky footage. Now, shaky footage is something very common, especially if you're doing if you're working with handheld filming. But good thing is that there's a lot of tools now that can help you after the fact. If you've made the mistake, you can use tools in DaVinci and Premiere Pro in order to stabilize your particular footage. No, there's something called the stabilization tools. Also, there's other ways you can prevent this from happening in the future. Things you could do is honestly get a tripod. You set up a tripod, and you for your next shoot, that completely takes the shakiness from your footage. Another thing you can do is use a gimbal. Using a gimbal is always great for those smooth shots. They're great for music videos or using them for documentaries. So on DaVinci, the tool they have is called the stabilization tool. It's literally under the video segment, and you just simply activate this by clicking on the video and then clicking on the stabilize button, and it automatically analyzes and stabilizes the video or the clip that you want to smoothen. So that's how you handle the situation of a shaky footage. So the next question here is how to build a consistent style. What you notice is that you can build consistent style through a couple of different things. So one of the things you can do is honestly be color graded. If you keep the color grading consistent, take for example the movie Matrix. Matrix, it's known, it's almost like a signature, the green lot. It's a signature of the Matrix movie. So you can create something like that for your own film documentary and just apply that across all board, and it gives that proper branding and the consistency is there. Also, you want to think about also the font choices too as well. When you're creating a project, let's say a documentary, you want to be thinking about the font choices that you're going to use throughout the whole entire video. The what genre of music could you be doing? So things like this can help you create a consistent style for your video. So you want to stick with all them is across all board, honestly. And honestly, this takes time. And by being consistent on it, you tend to then have your own signature. And that becomes your own brand for your film or let's say YouTube channel, YouTube video. These are things to think about. Um, the next question is how to fix audio issues. Now, this is absolutely a big one. Now, noise reduction is something that you're always going to face, but there's a few ways you can help prevent this. Number one is by getting amazing microphones. That's number one. And making sure that the area in which you are recording is soundproof. So meaning that you're treating the place for noises. So meaning that there's different ways in which you can treat a space. One of the most cost-effective ways that I can show you right now is it's literally making sure there is a rug underneath the speaker. That ways it dampens, like it doesn't let it peak, it doesn't let the sound bounce back into the microphone, and it just once a place is padded, so which is why a closet is one of the best place to record, honestly, because of the cloth. It absorbs all the noise, and the microphone picks up just the right voice that it's supposed to pick up. So that's one way of doing it beforehand. And in the situation where you end up recording an audio which sounds bad, there's awesome, amazing tools on DaVinci and Adobe Pro now that helps with automatic noise reduction. So by clicking the button, just as the stabilize, just the same way you click the button to stabilize, you can as well click the button to reduce the noise for a particular audio track. So that's something you want to think about. And also you want to keep it consistent, meaning that you want to keep the audio levels consistent between different clips. So you want to make sure that you're limiting each part of each track. So if it's going too high and it's clipping, you want to bring that down. So the highest point, you bring that down. The lowest point, you raise that up. And that's how you get like a consistent level for your audio tracks. Next is how to stand out on social media. So this is also a common question that people want to figure out. So there are a couple of things you could do. There's a lot of things you could do, but there's a couple of things that you should have down. Now, a compelling thumbnail is something that it's something that you should have to think about because most of the big YouTubers, after studying them for a while, I noticed that one of the big things that make them do stand out to make a video clickable is the thumbnail. It's the first thing they see. So a lot of people use very engaging thumbnails. So take the time to learn how to create amazing thumbnails, either on Canva, on Photoshop, on wherever, and to make them very catchy. And that's what would make you definitely stand out on social media. Also, the strong opening a video with a great captivating hook. So, like the first 10-15 seconds should be something that's very powerful, that just basically lets the audience know why will I be watching this video. And kind of like the same thing I did in this particular video, where I specifically stated what I'm going to be doing is teaching you how to video edit. And that is what compelled you to stay for as long as you did. And that's because you're trying to benefit something from watching this particular video. So that's one way of a hook to get someone to keep on watching the video you've created. Also, a captivating title is always going to work. Something that sparks curiosity, something that a viewer is looking forward to knowing or uncovering. That's something you want to think about. And also, you want to make sure you're adding value. So you want to share a unique perspective, like your own opinion on a particular subject, or share helpful tips, like I'm doing right now, showing you how to help your, like for example, teaching you how to video edit. That's something that's valuable to people who want to learn how to edit videos. So these are things that you think about when creating your when thinking about standing out on social media, whether it's a YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok, whichever platform you do decide to choose. I think this goes across all board. And the next question is, when should I edit footage? Now, listen here, it depends on the project. Now, for example, if you have a simple social media project like an Instagram reel or TikTok video, honestly, you can get into it right away. Like, I mean, those do not take well, they do take as much time, but in terms of the length, it's quite short and it's something you can get into right away. Now, larger projects, and then when we're talking about a full length documentary or a YouTube video, honestly, sometimes you might want to take a break before going into editing. So if you've spent all creativity trying to produce the actual video, you want to probably take another break again before stepping into the editing realm, because it's going to take another huge energy as well to be creative in that perspective. So you need to shift your brain from shooting right, to editing, and that's a whole different perspective. So taking a break is always great, and also getting fresh pair of eyes to help you in your editing process. So like editing and then showing someone else, hey, what do you think? And yeah, are you feeling the same? Are you like, you want to monitor them to see if they are having the same emotion that you want the viewer to have. So that's one of the great things of just always getting a fresh perspective, and also taking a break sometimes in case if you have a block. And when you come back either the next day, your minds are fresh, and when you're editing the footage, it's much better. It's easier. So yeah. So the next question is how to manage multiple audio tracks. So if you for example, if you're recording a podcast where you have 3 or 4 audio tracks, right? You want to make sure that the levels are all the same. You want to make sure also when you're using voiceovers or music on the tone, you want to make sure that the voiceover is higher, and you want to make sure that the music is very low and on the tone, so that it doesn't take away from what is being said. Also you can also use dynamic volume control, so meaning that if there is peaks, like if there's huge moments where the speaker is laughing, yelling, or getting super animated, excited, you want to use keyframes to edit those little portions there and bring down the volumes of those areas. Also, if you have multiple audios, you want to make sure you're synchronizing the 3 tracks. You know what I mean? So now with most of DaVinci and Adobe and all these new softwares, all you have to do is highlight those 3 buttons, and simply it's a matter of right clicking and synchronizing all 3 audio tracks. These have become much easier than they used to be before. Yeah. Next question is how to speed up editing. So now this is how I'm able to speed up my editing, where I can edit much faster than I used to before. I utilize a lot of shortcuts, keyboard shortcuts. Like, you know what I mean? So like if you listened previously when I was talking about how to edit certain footage, B for blade is how I just click by tapping B. I'm able to switch my cursor to the blade, and I'm able to trim files and trim videos. Those are ways of effectively, getting much faster in your editing process. Also, you want to utilize templates. So you can download templates from a lot of websites. There's a lot of websites where they have templates with lower thirds, titles that you can just simply plug and use and just simply edit in the text. And it's honestly very quite effective. And you can use them as much as you can for every single editing that you have. Next is syncing up multicam editing too as well. Is also another fast way is just literally lining all your videos up. So if you shot with three different angles, and three different angles, and you have one audio, you can just simply put those clips together with that audio and just sync them all together. This way is faster than editing one clip or one angle at a time, or trying to manually link those together. The system can do that for you very quick. It's all about clicking the button and it just simply, syncing them all together. The next thing you can do is how to improve your color grading. Honestly, there's some basic things that you could do. You start with the basics, like adjusting the contrast, saturations. And if we look at DaVinci over here, let's go over to how to actually, edit some, just a little bit. So if you look at DaVinci, which is why I love DaVinci, is because it allows you, it gives you so much tool to allow you to edit color to, like to the way you actually want it. Like you have your saturations, your hue, your highlights. You can play with this, roll it over, bring down the saturation, the overall brightness, intensify it, and also pick the color of style. This is what we're talking about, where if you're going with the matrix style, it leans towards the green. That's the lot. Then you can use. And if you want something faster, you can definitely use any of the lots that are available. It's quite very simple. It's a simple thing of dragging and dropping into the particular file that you want to, a clip that you want to add that to. And once you come up with your style and come up with the look that works best for whichever clip you're working on, you can stick with that, and that becomes your own signature. But honestly, lots are great. You can download this from websites. There's a lot of Motion Array, for example. It's a great example of where you can go and download lots and just simply paste them into that, and you're just simply adjusting them for your particular video as you see fit. DaVinci literally has free, and that's what I just showed you is the free tool that they have. So it's really great and you should look into that. Next is how to make videos more engaging. There's a couple of things you could do. Number one is definitely getting a variety of shots, meaning getting different angles of maybe an interview, for example. Shoot straight on, shoot the side profile, get those creative, juices flowing and come up with different angles for your shot, because different angles convey different things. For example, having the camera right below the face is one way of conveying superiority, or in terms of educating someone. It shows the perspective of teacher student. So that's why, if you notice, sometimes when they shoot those um shots in movies or in whatever, they tend to shoot from, from the below the chin. You're angling the camera to the individual face. It's to give that person a, if the angle signifies that, if you want something more sad and more depressing and more this thing, you want to have the angle really high above, wide shot at the subject. It gives the illusion of vulnerability. The subject is vulnerable. So those are different things that you need to think about to make your shots more engaging. And honestly, you can mix and match and use different shots for depending on what you're working on. So the next thing you want to do is make sure they're tight spaced. So meaning that if you're shooting something and you want it to be tight. So instead of having those drag periods where nothing's happened, you want to make sure there's tight pace. So you don't want to leave too much boring, unnecessarily shots in between. So keep the pacing tight and keep it so it follows along.
So, keep the pace. If it's going fast, boom, 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 just continue that. Or if it's slow, just keep it slow. But make sure they're all together and it continues and it flows well. And the third thing you can do is visual elements, like, overlays, motion graphics, just to make it more interesting and more engaging. Having things pop up on screen. If diagrams, so for example, what we're doing right now, where we have a presentation here, and where we're going with the presentation, it's just something for you to look at as you're listening and watching. So these are things that you could do to make your videos more engaging. So these are the 10 frequently asked questions when it comes to video editing. I hope this is helpful to you, and good luck.
AI has changed how we do things completely. It has changed our lives, and it's even impacted the content creation world. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you the most mind-blowing AI tools that you can use, that I use every day, that you can start using, that is going to do a few things. Number one, it's going to save you time, a lot of time, save you so much money, and it's just going to supercharge your productivity. So in this video, I've broken it down into a few stages. So AI to help with your ideation stage. So as a content creator, your ideation stage. Stage number 2 would be your video production, video editing tools, and actually using AI to create your own podcast where you don't even have to say a word. Ideation stage for every content creator is one of the most important stages. So you want to make sure you're preparing and you're planning ahead of time. So good preparation usually leads to great videos. That's something you want to make sure you put a lot of energy into. And it's one of the AI tools that's not going to fail you is ChatGPT. I think almost everybody's using it. So here's how I use it for content creation. So when I was creating a documentary recently, what I did was I did a lot of preliminary interviews. So a documentary process is where we actually interview people that we're going to have on the documentary beforehand to basically flush out all the ideas and get out all the real story. And once we have the real story, then we use that to help them create a script to help guide them when they're actually sitting down and we're actually recording. So this process used to be very tedious for me, because I would have to interview about 15, 20 people, get all the story from them, then type it all out, create a script, a rough script for them to follow on the day of production. But right now, what I do is I take all that interview, then I go to ChatGPT and I simply just instruct it, okay, give me a story arc from all these 15 interviews. And it does that in seconds. So honestly, that has supercharged my production process and my content creation speed. Like nothing has ever changed the game as much as this has. So I recommend this to you guys too as well. That's basically how I use ChatGPT. You can use it to come up with script, come up with titles, come up with, ideas. That's how we kind of use ChatGPT. And the next one is actually very interesting. So next we go into video production. Now, when it comes to editing clips. Now, here's a quick joke. Back then, when I say the Stone Ages, we're talking about like in 2022, how we used to do this was, I remember trying to edit a clip, and just to even get captions was so difficult. Sometimes I remember one time I had to type out the caption because at that time I didn't know what tools were available, and we have to type out. Imagine watching a video, listen to what it's saying, and then start typing out the caption. Honestly, that's a horrible way of doing things, and honestly a nightmare. And also when it comes to chopping up clips for Instagram Reels, what we had to do is basically put it on your file and then watch the whole entire thing and then look for the best moments that you think will make for great reels, Instagram Reel. Then you break that, change the orientation, to vertical clips, then put the caption, then you export it. And that's the process to make one single Instagram Reel. Now, there's a tool called Opus Pro. Now, Opus Pro is actually mind-blowing. So what you do, long form video that you've created, you upload it directly to this. So here's the link. You just if you upload to YouTube, and you can copy and paste the link. In this case, let's use this video I created about how to make a documentary. So you just simply copy the link, and then you go to Opus Pro and you paste it here, and you click the button, get clips from it. So now here's what is that. I've already done this before, so we can take a look at what it does. So literally by just clicking a button, it creates Instagram Reels for me from a long video. So look, it's created 1, 2, 3 Instagram videos, and it even ranks them based on virality. So basically it scores it. So it literally finds out the best part of the whole entire clip and then makes an Instagram reel, like a full, complete, cohesive Instagram reel, top to like beginning to end. So let's watch this one. So I gave it a full video of on just like on this series of how to create a documentary, and this is the Instagram clip it created for me. So let's play it. There's a lot of different styles of documentaries, but let's look at the three popular ones. There's expository documentary. Now, this documentary is where you have it edits, it adds a caption. So this is mind-blowing. So it scores it. So it says for hook, it scores as an A. You know, for flow, value, trend, it scores it. So now you can just export this directly to your social media. You can post this to Instagram and all this. So it's basically creating Instagram and TikTok videos with a click of a button. And this used to take us so many hours just to create one Instagram video. Now you can put out 3, 10 gram videos almost every single day, depending on your productivity, to be honest. So I absolutely love this tool. So it does all the editing for you. So now the next stage is advanced video editing. So I won't show the example here, but I will just show you, let you guys know you could possibly use it. So Firecut is one of them. This one is basically a plugin. You can plug this to Adobe Premiere. And what it does is automatically edits certain parts of your video. So for example, if this was a multicam shot, so if assuming I was interviewing another person in this particular video, I would just simply take the 2 camera files. So basically one camera is on me, I put it on that and put it in Adobe and basically use Firecut. And what it does is it automatically edits the 2 videos together. So it's, if I'm talking, it edits it and cuts just me as a talking person, and it shows my video at the moment when I'm talking, and then it cuts to the next person. If the person is talking, it shows the next person, and it does that edit automatically and so seamless. So Firecut is absolutely one of the best editing plugins that you can use. Next one is Gling AI tool as well, is another great editing software. So what you can do is, if you record a video like what we just did here, what you can simply do, if you look at the process here, is just upload it directly, and then it automatically edits the whole thing. It edits, refines it, you know, it puts text on it, removes the mistakes and clips from it, and then once that's done, you can just download. So honestly, you can get like an edited video in like the span of 2 minutes. So Firecut and Gling AI for advanced video editing, those are the tools I would recommend. Now for one of the most impressive AI tool that I think has existed till today, is called Notebook LM. Now with Notebook LM, it helps you in the research process. So that's the first thing you could use this for. So let's assume I was creating a document for this series, which I would call Mastering Digital Media Creation. So now I created a script. Now I went on Google Doc and I typed out all the script, all my ideas, what I want to talk about into a Google Doc. This is where I typed out exactly what I'm saying right now. So what I did was, this is what Notebook can help you do. I upload that document to Notebook LM, right? And other sources, for all my other sources that I used for research purposes to be able to create this particular content. Now you add all the sources, and what it does is it merges all of this and basically creates a database where you can ask questions to AI to extract from this particular segments. So basically from here, what we could do is ask particular questions. So if, for example, I want to ask what are the best tools for video editing. So what it does, it basically pulls that information from the list of resources, particular sources that I've given it. So if you look at it here, it extracts information. Like for example, we're talking about Opus Pro. We just talked about that. That is extracted from it. You know, we talked about DaVinci, which is what we're talking about here. Now, not only that, here's what it could also create. It could turn that document that you've created, all the sources, into a podcast. And it's actually really good. Like, it's not just AI talking. It's like it creates a conversational piece that you can use as a podcast off that research information that you're working on or the documents that you fed it. So let's listen to what we've just created. Like, this is what I created for this series, and this is the podcast series I talked about.
Jump right in. Today we're taking a deep dive into video editing.
Specifically, how to make videos that people actually want to watch.
Exactly. And the best part is,
You don't need to be some kind of tech genius to make great videos.
so true. And to guide us on this deep dive,
We've got 2 awesome sources.
first up, we've got Omar L's Beginner's Guide to Video be drawing on some insights from Fahad.
A pro video editor who is featured on the StoryHive podcast.
Here's what's really cool.
Both of them, even though they use different editing software,
They're all about keeping things simple.
focusing on those core principles that make any video shine.
Exactly.
So let's start with the very first step.
Which, surprisingly,
It doesn't actually involve the editing software at all.
wait, what? You're telling me there's something we need to do before we even open up our editing software?
That's right. Both Omar and Fahad stress the importance of getting organized.
Organized? Like, what do you mean? Tidying up my desk?
Yeah, not quite, but I like your thinking. They're talking about organizing your footage.
Okay, that makes sense. So, like, creating folders and stuff.
Exactly. They both recommend creating separate folders for all your different types of footage.
Okay, so, like, one for A-roll,
One for B-roll,
audio files,
the whole
shebang.
You got it. And
This is honestly a game changer in my opinion. Like, this is so great, not only for research purposes, but also for create content. There's a lot of people who out there who are not comfortable in front of a camera or not comfortable speaking to a mic. You could honestly use this to create your content and just create footage on it and start uploading your podcast about whatever topic or whatever you want to do. Honestly, this gives us no room for any more excuses. This just supercharges you to start producing content right away, honestly. So this is called Notebook LM. I should recommend you go check it out and give it a shot and see how it can help you in your editing process. So honestly, AI is one of the great tools that we're lucky to have now. And honestly, I look at it as a way you can use it to help your productivity, help your speed, help you save a lot of money, so that's what I would recommend you do this. So now this gives opportunity to a lot of people. And there's so many people out there who are not comfortable talking in front of a camera, or some particular process of the content creation is uncomfortable for them, or they just don't like doing. Now you can just simply get an AI tool as your personal assistant to help you and create content. So I hope this video is very helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Cheers.